Hello guys, welcome to Photographics Academy. All right, so today we're going to be looking at something super interesting. We'll be going through step-by-step guide on how we're able to transform this image from something this flat to something this amazing, this dreamy, beautiful manipulation. So I'm going to be taking you through step-by-step guide on how we're able to create it, starting from the cutting out of the image and all other stuff. So what we're going to be doing in this image is that we're going to be mirroring exactly what we have in the layers here, and we're going to be mirroring them over this place, and I'm going to show you how I did the applications. Okay, so without wasting your time, let's quickly get started. But before that, I want you to know that you are getting the background that we used for this image, which is this background. Yeah, you are getting it for free, and also the PSD file containing all the layers of what we did here. And lastly, we'll be giving you the camera raw presets that we use to get the final color grading. So this was the image before the camera raw effect, and this was the image after the camera raw effect. So we're going to be giving you the preset probably after we are done doing one or two adjustments to it, and you are going to be getting the preset. Okay, so without wasting your time, let's quickly get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be doing is to crop our image. So because of the size of the background, which is a square shape, I'm going to also crop my image in square shape. And the very first thing you need to consider is to give it a lot of space here to be able to contain that composition when you do it and not make her look unrealistic. So I'm just going to place her in the dots, something like that, and press OK. You can turn on your content aware just to fill up the extra areas. Okay, so we are done. So I'm just going to clean up this place using my clone stamp tool. Yeah, this area, just quickly take care of that. I do not like it. It's looking like a distraction. All right, so when you are done with that, all you need to do is to select your subject, select subject, yeah. And when you are done selecting your subject, right click on the image and minus these areas from the selection, or rather add them to the selection. Yeah, so that it will have that base. Beautiful. Just make sure your selection is okay to an extent. It doesn't need to be perfect, but make sure it's okay. We'll do a lot of modifications later. Okay, so when you are done with that, make sure you duplicate your background. Right click on the image, select layer via cut, so you will have your object on a separate layer and have your background on a separate layer. So I'm just going to place my object above this place and blur out my background. Just like that, press OK. So we are ready for the work. So what we're going to be doing right now is that we're going to be carrying each thing layer by layer as I'm explaining to you exactly how I applied it, and we'll be placing it over the image. So the first thing we are placing over the image is our background, which is this place. So I'm just going to use our move tool just like that, carry it and place it over our image. So when you place it over your image, if it doesn't fit in well, you need to scale it in. So I'm just going to find a similar positioning for what we have in the original image we showed you as a sample. Okay, so this is good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my content aware scale to fill up the floor. So I'm just going to pick up my marquee tool and make a selection of this area. Go to my edit, go to content aware scale, hold your shift and scale it down. Just like that, press OK. So just to make her stay on it. So I think we are missing this area. We'll do the same thing. Hang on, that didn't work. Let's go again. Content aware scale. So we have to fill it up. All right, press OK. Nice. So we'll have it properly filled up. So the next thing we're going to do, according to our layer styling, is to make a color separation. So I'm going to deactivate this visible stamp layer, so we'll be seeing everything effectively. So I'm going to I'm going to carry this gradient lightening that we did here to give it that color separation behind her and just place it over our image. So I'm just going to lift it up like this, just like that. Go to my image and place it right behind my background. Yeah, just like that, and change the blend mode to, so our blend mode is in linear dot add. So we're going to change it to, okay, it's already in linear dots. Make sure it's like that. So look at the lightening that we just created, just a cyan kind of soft light flowing in from the right hand of the room, just to give a separation to the main image in the center. So you understand why I did that. So the next thing we're going to bring in is our color lookup table, which we did here. So this is the effect it created. So we use it to darken the wall over this side, the woods over this side just a little. So we'll just drag it and position it over our image. So use your move tool and just make sure it is exactly where it's supposed to be. So basically what we did was that we used a cyan kind of color on the color lookup. Let me show you. Yeah, it's called horror blue. So we used a cyan kind of color just to give it that separation, because everything was already orange, the image, the background. So you can't really see the image if everything is the same color. So we used the color to just give separation to that composition. So the next thing we did was that we created a gray layer just above everything. We created a gray layer just to give it a little contrast, just to bring a little contrast to the image. So we're going to drag it over here and make sure the blend mode is in overlay. Make sure the blend mode is in overlay. So looking at it, you are going to notice that it brings in even a little bit of contrast into the image. If you want more contrast, you can increase it, but I'll keep it at 50. So we'll see how much of the same result we are going to get at the end of the day. So the next thing I'm going to do quickly is to now clip a hue and adjustment layer over the image, because I noticed her red is quite too saturated, so I needed to tone down the skin tone a little. So that's exactly what we did. I'm going to drag this over here and place it over our image. So when I do that, I'm going to clip it on the image itself. Yeah, it should be here. I'm going to clip it on the image and look at the mask. If it doesn't look good for what I want to do, then I'm going to work on it. So I'm going to pick up my brush, zoom in on the image. So it's not giving me the exact result I wanted where I wanted it. So I'm going to delete the mask just like that and quickly create a new one, holding my alternate, and now unveil it where I want it to be, which is her face. So I just wanted her skin to receive just a little bit of brightness and desaturated at the same time. Beautiful. Okay, so we are quickly done with that. So we are coming very close to the result. So the next thing we did was to create, remember that we stopped creating below the object at the gray layer. After the gray layer, we started creating every other thing on the object. So we created a curves adjustment layer just to bring in even a little bit of more contrast to the image. So I'm going to drag it and position it right above everything. Okay, so we'll have it here before, after. Nice one. So let's see the next thing we did. Okay, so once you have that going, you are going to bring in your color lookup table again. So this was the result of the color lookup table. So we noticed that even with the curves, the contrast was not as much as we wanted. Looking at it like this, you are going to notice that it's even looking flat. So the moment we bring this color lookup table over here and place it on the image, it brings contrast into the image. It brings contrast into the image. Yeah, beautiful. I'm liking it the way it's going so far. So the next thing we did was to create one more color lookup table above everything. So the first one was a Fuji F125 Kodak. The second one is a horror blue, just the same kind of thing we did down here. Yeah, the same kind of color we introduced down here, just to bring it very close to the look we are looking for. Then we place it over here and just place it over our image, and it even brings in that cyanish tone to the whole palette, to the whole picture and all of that. So if you feel you do not want it on the face of your subject, you can as well use your brush to paint it out. So I'm just going to paint it out of her face a little. So I'm going to delete this mask. Yeah, create one more mask and just remove it from her face. Yeah, just like that. Because I still want to retain a bit of her original skin tone so that we'll get that color separation at the end of the day. So looking at the image, we're already looking very close to what we had here. Yeah, so I think I need a little bit of more reds on my face. So I'm just going to go to my hue and saturation. You go to my reds, increase it just slightly. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll just have it there. Nice one. All right, so the next thing we did was to create our curves, our camera raw filter, which gave us this loop that we have here. So we're going to try to replicate the same thing using our camera raw. So I'm going to create a stamp visible layer. Before you do that, I'm forgetting one thing. We needed to restore the original shadow, and to restore that, you have to come to the main background down here, create a mask for it, use your brush and just unveil the floor. Yeah, those places, you know, the shadows are definitely going to be, you just unveil it. Beautiful. So I like the way that it's leaving depths on the background. It makes it look even more realistic and a little bit more unkept, just to give us the beautiful look we are going for. So I wouldn't want this separation here, so I'm just going to fade that out. Nice one. So after doing that, create a stamp visible layer, Ctrl Shift Alternate E to create a stamp visible layer. Then go straight to your camera raw filter. So the first thing I did was to create a vignette effect for the image to bring attention to the center. So just created a vignette effect. Make sure the highlight is lifted so it doesn't darken down at the edges of the vignette. All right, so beautiful. So go straight to your basics. Reduce your highlight, very much important. Yeah, reduce your highlight. Increase your shadows slightly. Beautiful. Increase your vibrance. Increase your warmness. So that was how we came to that kind of color you saw at the end of the day. Beautiful. So for my clarity, my dehaze and all of that, what I did was that I hazed the image a little, just like that, to give it that hazy, airy feel. Then I increased the clarity slightly and increased the texture slightly. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so we missed a step. I just noticed that our hair isn't looking the best it can be in the masking. So I'm just going to restore that and apply this preset once again over the image. Okay, so looking at this place, you're going to notice that the selection was looking quite bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to take 2 steps backwards. I'm going to take 2 steps backwards here. Deactivate my stamp visible layer. Go to my original image right here. Create a mask for the image, just like that. Use your black brush and paint over the edge of her hair. And by doing so, you just restore some original shadows and even make the hair blend into the background a little bit more than it was. All right, so I'm going to now create my stamp visible layer back. So remember one thing, your filter, the last filter you applied still remains at the top, which is why I'm just going to click over here, and our camera raw filter effect is going to come back on the image. Beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to create a cooling filter. Sorry, not color lookup table. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to use a photo filter to create a global color grading. So it has to be cool. Yeah, beautiful. Reduce the opacity. Very much important. Beautiful. And we are done. Look at it. Before and after. Before and after. Before and after. Before and after. Look at the original image that we replicated. Isn't that very close? So just follow this whole thing I did step by step. You can even borrow files from the PSD file, and you are going to achieve the same result when you are shooting on it, when you are working on your dramatic image. Thank you for watching this amazing video. Make sure you do click on the like button and comment what you learned on the comment section. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification bell to get notified every single time we drop a new video. Until then, see you.